Heh.
Heh.
You're here.
Click, click. Get it, clock. Get it, clock noises. All right, so listen. We are playing Clock Tower 3. And we're going to go and hopefully fight the second boss. Also, I haven't played this game in a week, so I have to kind of remember the controls.
Is this as good as Clock Tower 2?
Dude.
You just can't compete with two.
Let me tell you something in all honesty, Ben.
Oh, yeah. Wait, Ben, you weren't here, right?
No, I don't know what's going on.
Okay.
Get ready for this music.
So Parker was here last week, but he's not here this week. But Ben is here this week, but he wasn't here last week.
So let me tell you something in all honesty, Ben. Let me answer your original question.
The setting of this game is very complicated, actually.
So it's kind of like Eternal Darkness in that, Ben.
Yes.
Get off your dang phone if I'm going to explain stuff to you.
I actually can divide my attention pretty well.
But
anyway,
it's very similar to Eternal Darkness, where you have a present period and then you go back to past periods. But instead of inhabiting a new body, you just travel to that maybe fabricated past.
There's like a mansion, which is like the main like.
Is there a woman named Jennifer?
I hate this dude. Your name's Alyssa, if that helps. So here's the deal. Let me just try to get through this.
Isn't Jennifer like one of the important people in like Clock Tower lore? So
we're gonna see more as far as the lore is concerned at some point. So let's give Ben the quick 411. Do you see that little thing above the 3 in the upper left?
Yes. What the hell is that?
That is my fear meter. Do you see that little?
So
do you see that little vortex thing that I touched? Those are like items you can use to fight or to get away from the enemies.
Oh.
Otherwise, there is like no way to get by them. It's either hide points or like using items points.
I love this switch that just makes a bunch of electricity.
I like it. So over time, your panic meter goes down. You can also use items to do that. There are a lot of very BS moments. There are a lot of BS moments where your panic meter is going to go up even if you don't get hit or whatever, which is just great.
Is he literally blocking you getting to that area?
He can't be.
There we go.
Yeah.
Because that is actually...
That was a cutscene death.
That's what I would like. So lavender water gives you your panic meter down. Also, just hiding out over time gets your panic meter down. I bought a little bit of time for this boss by him being there, but don't think he's like obviously dead or anything.
There's also ghosts.
Oh, wait.
Like
so there's
just the classic ghost.
There's ghosts. Where is this? I forget where this ghost is. Actually, right
Very cool.
And the way that you exercise a ghost is to bring a valuable that's important to them back to their corpse or something similar to that.
That's actually cool.
Yeah.
I mean, annoying from a gameplay perspective.
I guess I have to do this.
At least you
the ghost is down here, but I guess I have to continue up a little bit.
At least you can do something about the ghost, unlike Silent Hill 4, which the only thing you can do is just...
And this is going to be an all-exorcism run, as long as I can do it, and it's also a bonus because you get items, and items are very few and far between, so that's a good thing. You play as Alyssa... I forget her last name. Or no, I'm sorry. Yeah, Alyssa. Alyssa something or other, and she's turning 15...
Really cool.
So follow the story, Ben. It's very important. So, come on, don't break.
Is that a thing?
Yes. Don't break.
That one broke.
I'm not dead. I just get sent back here.
You're instantly.
But like the longer that I mess around, the more chance that this stupid.
All right, time to check out the water physics on the model.
Oh, you have to.
Oh, that's right. This is how it. That's actually good, because I want this to be here, so I can give... I didn't like that.
Oh, she, like, ran up the stairs, I guess.
So we're going to... I actually might not be at the right angle. There we go. The hitboxes on this are pretty nice. So I gave this girl her daughter's letter, and it, like, you know, cleanses her soul.
God.
So that's actually decently, like, important to the story. You're what's called a rooter. Essentially, when a girl turns 15, she gets these special powers to essentially...
Yes!
Yeah, right? She gets these special powers...
Supernatural powers.
Supernatural powers to essentially fight against, like, I guess demons or ghosts or whatever the case may be. So that guy that you just saw is a serial killer from back in the day who was tried and hanged but because of his evil spirit, is like able to like keep like hanging around and stuff. So we're gonna actually head up here.
Wait, is it like? Oh my god!
So the short ones I think always break.
Oh my god!
And this one's timed.
That's the only one, so you just have to...
Nice. So this shawl is very important because each time that you go to a and also this guy's gonna be here in like 1 second, and it's gonna suck. Yeah. So each time you go to a world, there's like a main ghost that you have to exorcise, and that is the key to exorcising this ghost. So he's here, and he's like right behind you, and it sucks.
The one, so we already saw this last time, but this game is basically a horror game for 95% of the time. But when you get to the end of it, oh my god, like almost the entire way.
Okay, cool. I literally used my holy water on him, and that's my only one. That's cool. So that's good. I could die here.
Wow. What was that?
So
I like how your panic went all.
When you get the whole way to the top, you get into panic, and you just start freaking out, and it's really great. So the boss room is right here. I wish I would have just gotten to this room without having to use that lavender water. So the only time you can die is when you're in panic and you get hit.
Oh,
now,
dude, is the video game part happening?
Yes. Now you're coming in at a very interesting time, Ben, because boss battles are like actually very video gamey, whereas the rest of the game is like.
Oh, also the in-game animation for the cutscenes are always so over the top. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's like they had this extra budget and they were just like, we got to use it.
No,
so
that's like...
at your Rooter powers, you're able to become Sailor Mercury
with a bow and arrow.
No, but literally, you have this bow and arrow, which is used to bind these spirits in place or these bad guys in place. And essentially, what you have to do is like cleanse them or send them to hell, or I forget exactly what it is.
It really feels like publisher kind of like meddling, where like Capcom was probably like, "Hey, can you make this like a game?" And they're like,
I actually like it, although it feels like it's weird. It's weird to like imagine if Silent Hill, like the boss battles, was like start. You know what I mean? So this is kind of cool. So his name's Corridor. He had 31 victims.
Corrosion.
So he was sentenced to 605 years, and that is his boss meter. This boss is hard, by the way. I forget what
this is so weird.
It is weird, and I get it. That's good.
Oh, you have actual health. I didn't notice that.
There she is.
So the first boss that we did, Spencer did in like 5 seconds, but all the other bosses like actually try.
Damn it!
Oh, and you can't.
You can't aim left or right now.
This seems awful.
So your general goal is to get them. You have to.
So when you charge up your bow enough, you get a binding arrow, and once you get one good binding arrow into the boss, it gets so much easier. But getting that first binding arrow, there we go. So you want to do that, and then they're bound in place for a while.
Although you can still do that.
Yeah.
So what you want to do is get them... Damn it! Thank you. So you want to get them bound in place enough. 6, 7... So you want to get them bound in place multiple times. No. No! So you want to get them bound in place multiple times. Damn it. Well, at least I keep getting to hit him, like, once.
There we go.
No, I can't, like, afford to... Like, I can, like... So, if I get him stuck enough, then I automatically win, but otherwise I'm just gonna have to chip away, which sucks and obviously takes a million times longer.
You know.
Nice. Yeah, good. Good. Nope. You'll know when you win because she'll make a very specific animation.
Dude, this is so...
Right now, right now, right now, right now. Nope. Damn! Gotta be joshing me.
Are you like too far away, or does it not matter?
No, there's like you gotta get him like bound to like a certain like small area, but I feel like I've hit him enough that like it should be okay. I always used to think it like you had to like hit them at certain angles, but like not really, because like the speedrun just like stands in the same spot and it works because it's a speedrun, of course. Damn it.
I don't understand why she's not doing it.
That's okay.
This is just like mystifying to me. Just like the complete change in tone.
I know.
I also love how the guy's like audio.
There we go. There we go. So if I would have done that right away, it would have taken his whole health bar. And that boss also worries me quite a bit, just because it's like in a very awkward area with that place in the center makes it hard. And boss battles are fun, but also like I didn't get hit that much, and I was like two-thirds life. So for the longest time, I thought you had to like do it and completely circle them around, and like it really isn't the case. Like you can just stand in like one spot. So his soul is purified or sent to hell or whatever. Oh, also regarding these rooters, so this is very important for the story. So when they become 15, they get these rooter powers. It's all the women in his family, and in her family and her grandfather's family. And the power diminishes after that. So by the time you're like literally 20, you like have no power anymore.
Yeah, they said that like a character that was 18 was already like heavily like degrading. So like your power is only functional for like a few years.
So the whole story starts because Alyssa's mom, who was also a rooter, because every female in this family is a rooter, was like, Alyssa, please, she's at boarding school, and she sends her a letter. She's like, please, please, please do not come home until after your 15th birthday. So as a 14-year-old girl, what do? You go home instantly on like the day of your 15th birthday. And it's very important because I actually don't know how much like literal story we've seen, so I'm actually going to keep it at that for now.
I think that's about it.
You know what? Safety. Safety save. So if you die, one of the really nice things about this game, because it like treats bosses different, if you die during a boss, which I have, it literally just will be like restart, which is really nice. It's not great in terms of timing for us at LPs, but like, you know, it's not like, oh, dang it. But I haven't died like not in a boss, so I don't really know if it like is like retry or if it's literally like, nah, start your same thing. So we're giving we're giving her shawl, which is, she's a ghost. She's going to be cleansed from this.
She's also blind.
She's also blind and like has like, oh, now she's not blind anymore.
I can see.
The way that her and her son die is like the worst. Like they're just sitting there, like the mom like already went blind or whatever, and he's like, Mom, I made you this shawl, like it's gonna be a cold winter, and she's like, wow, I just love being alive so much. And then 1 second later, that boss that we just did comes in and is like, I hate happy families, and just starts throwing them in acid baths, and you're like, it's hard to explain how like out of nowhere it happens, and you're like, okay.
And the first guy was a murderer that used like a really big axe. And
Sledgehammer.
Dorothy.
It's like the same thing.
Albert.
Sorry. Or axe. I'm sorry. I don't know why I said axe. But yeah, the main victim was like a little like 11-year-old girl, and like she just gets brutally murdered.
Like the first time you see her, she's just like instantly running away from this guy, and then he like just whacks her like over the head, and she just like flies and dies.
Destroying 2 subordinates.
Who the hell is this?
So this is a guy that appeared at your house and is just mocking you.
You don't really know who he is. He showed up for like a few seconds.
This is your mansion right here. So we're gonna get some story fed to us. I like how it had to load again. It was like, hey, bud. So that's the mansion that was kind of like the Eternal Darkness mansion, but now it's this thing.
I don't remember this at all. Hey, it's a clock tower.
I really like this game. Like, it has a lot of BS moments, but like, what horror game doesn't have a lot of BS moments? I guess technically, like the part that you saw where I just went into panic out of nowhere is like, this game would be like a 9 out of 10 if it didn't have that nonsense. Like, there was nothing I could have done there to not be at 95% panic, like, right away. And that's just BS. There's, like, it's just stupid. But besides that, I, like, objectively like this game.
This game is definitely very interesting.
I know. So, also another thing you're going to notice is this
good reaction.
This game goes between utter horror and utter silliness very quickly. There's this character we're gonna meet soon who is like super silly, and like I said, there'll be 1 second where like the mom and son are like brutally murdered, and then 5 seconds later, like they're making like kiddie jokes, like jokes about being teenagers and stuff. This is my voice, by the way.
This is no longer your home. This is the dark realm where I rule. In 2 hours, the clock will strike midnight, and your 15th birthday will arrive. When that happens, you and I will become one, and together we will obtain eternal life.
So if you sacrifice a rooter, it's called the...
Are you looking forward to it? So am I, my dear.
It's called the Ritual of Engagement. If you sacrifice a rooter on her 15th birthday, you become like a god.
2 of our number, but your mother was killed by a subordinate long ago.
No! You're lying! She can't!
If you don't believe me, you can go to hell and see for yourself.
So, like, in a way,
what the hell is going on?
I know. In a way, I understand why that dude like didn't isn't like killing her, because she's literally not 15 yet, and he won't become a god.
Yeah, but then he just tossed her down a big cat.
This is just like the standard like James Bond villain, where he's just like, I'm the smartest and best, so I'm just toying with you, instead of like literally just like tying her to the table and being like, hey, look, it's midnight, I'm a god. But instead he's like, I will toy with you and send you around. And it's like, okay.
You're only saying James Bond because he's got a British accent.
Yeah. I also think it's the best example for that. Okay, here's a better example. Hank Scorpio.
Whiplash.
Alright, so that's good. Lavender waters are worth their weight in saffron. Because saffron's an expensive thing.
But it's lavender.
Yeah, lavender. Right.
Lavender is such a great plant, by the way. Lavender tea.
That's right. I always forget.
Smells great.
I always forget that you literally... Dude, come on.
What is happening?
You, like, there's a button for crawling. And,
oh,
dude,
cool.
come on. Hello? Okay. It's just a very specific camera angle.
Ben, what's your thoughts on this right now?
Once again, they play a very dangerous game.
Yeah, they were very careful in
that
that cutscene. They were very careful not to show anything.
Yeah, they were. But you know what? They didn't have to have her up there spinning around.
This is a Japanese game. You need
to
understand their culture.
I know.
Please understand.
I understand.
So we are going to do some things. This is the second most confusing area because there is an elevator, and every time there's an elevator, things are confusing. Because there's like suddenly multiple different places you have to go. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're going to... Oh, and I have 5 holy water throws now. Too bad they don't freaking help! So we're gonna get the worker's key, and we're going to note that you could hide behind here if you wanted to. But why would we?
Good hiding spot.
Why would we need that?
Very invisible.
By the way, it sometimes works. So we're just gonna continue. Oh.
Oh no.
So this game is also weird in between the stages. So like the second stage, the one I was just on, you don't meet that killer until like a half hour in, and in this one you meet the killer like literally, obviously 1 second into it.
But you're no match for me. You're going to die.
This is my least favorite of him because he's just like kind of the silliness, I guess you could say.
He's just a Joker. Or he's Kratos.
Nothing personnel kit.
Wind effect.
So we're going to do that. We're going to take the elevator to B1.
Oh, nice trick.
Closing the door behind you. Nice trick. The cutscenes are just like so mystifying to me.
I know they're so silly. So he cannot follow you into this room, but unfortunately you can't use it as a place to recover your I almost said sanity, your panic meter. So the game kind of realized you would do that and was like, no. So just like Clock Tower Ben, they can appear as you, I guess, just saw a little bit ago. They can appear at any time, and that's there we go. Look at that.
Wow,
it's great, huh?
At least it's a different sound track.
Okay, we're going to.
Although this one isn't much better, it's still like a 2-second loop.
Oh, great. Great.
You can't get away.
That's all I wanted to do. And by the way, it wasted one when I threw that. That's pretty cool.
That was cool.
Oh, I like it. Cool. So, God, thank you that he can't follow you in here, but it still sucks. So we have one lavender water, and I think we have one, Ben, another, I guess, important, since you'll probably be here next week when I continue this, another important item is so this invisibility band, if I ever get in a thing, obviously makes you invisible, and the sigil stone is the most important because you can take a hit and panic and not die. And unfortunately, I think that's happened to me already. Lel.
Wow.
This guy is being relentless.
Okay. Oop. Oh, good. So this is... Okay, so we're going to put the upper left to the lower right. The... up.
You already did upper left.
Yeah, I thought so. We're going to the middle to the lower left. There we go. And we're going to do the upper right to the lower middle. Okay. So
why did they let you do this while you're being followed?
I know, it's
unlike
great.
The original Clock Towers.
Yeah, no worries.
Ah! You've got to be kidding me.
And I used one.
Yep, of course it did. So we're going to head back to B1, which I actually think is where we started.
Is there a holy water refill?
Only where you saw it in that one room. So we're going to go back to B1. No, B2 is the place we started. So we honestly have to get past this part because I really don't feel like going back to B2 and doing it because B2 is where we're going to end up anyway. So at B1 there is a control panel, and I'm sure he's going to be right here.
No, dude. Yeah, bro. No fun allowed.
No fun allowed. This game is constant. Look at that! Yeah. Look at that!
It was
Look at
so
that!
far away.
So I'm gonna use it just to be safe. Especially since I don't have any holy water. Luckily, it goes fast, like down fast, but still, like, sucks.
You're just toeing the line in terms of,
Okay. Alright. Good moves.
Yeah, he's super great.
Just the disparity between, like, in-game movement and cutscenes is so cool.
Yeah,
I love the cutscenes so much.
I really wish you were here last week because there is a very good cutscene between the main character and her childhood friend, and it was the most overtop scene, like, ever.
So, please, game. Shh, don't mess with me. I'm like kind of like okay. Ah!
That was actually scary.
Dang it!
Because it was basically a jump scare.
All right, so yeah, so we are on the right thing. I just have to survive. Yeah, cool. Like I love that. Like I love it going up 20% when I'm not even near. Like I just love it. It's just great.
Oh, nice trick.
Wait, so was that not? Were we on B3?
You were on B3, yeah.
I was on B3 to start? Okay. That's fine. So that's good. So we got everything we need.